2 to 3 years ago, we started a process to apply for a grant for a Good Samaritan Health and Wellness Center. And that process took quite a while, and it took many people to get involved with it. As you know, and I've communicated by email, that finally came to fruition, that we received, or the District 18L received a grant of $90,000 that we will be awarding to Good Samaritan tonight. Now, as far as when the actual funds get there, that's going to require a little bureaucracy, but it'll get there because it's promised to get there. A lot of hard work was by many people, but I can tell you right up here, Lindy Smith and myself and Ed Harshberger, who's not here with the state, we wrote and rewrote and went over things on this grant application and finally got it the way they wanted it. And thank goodness we got it. It was all approved, and we got what we had asked for. Now add that $90,000 that we got from LCIF to the $10,000 that Jasper Lions had put aside to give to Good Samaritan. That's $100,000 to give to the Vision Clinic at Good Samaritan. So we're all really proud that all happened. But the other thing that happened with all this is there's another grant from another foundation that was a matching grant of $100,000. It will be $100,000. So basically, because of this, Good Samaritan Health and Wellness Center will get $200,000, $100,000, at least $100,000, which goes to the Vision Center. So the reason that we're doing this tonight is to make this presentation to these folks right here. I have Lois Bryant is the chairman of the board. She's a nurse practitioner that a volunteer there, just like I am. We have Dr. Gilbert James, who is the head of the Vision Center. And Melinda Smith, or Lindy Smith, is the director of development, and she and I worked on this. And Tammy Sorrells is the chief financial officer at Good Samaritan. So I think it'd be appropriate to go ahead and do that now. We want to get over in front of the banner and take some pictures. But does anybody have any questions about this process and what we went through? Because believe me, it was interesting to go through.
Willie, do you have something, if I may?
Yeah, no, that's fine.
Willie, like I said, is our district LCIF chair. And can you kind of shed some light to the folks that don't know the process on how we went about doing this?
Okay. And I'd like to thank District Governor Leslie for asking me to come up this evening for this special night and your meeting. Lions Club International Foundation is the charitable arm of Lions Club International. In 2007, Lions Club International Foundation was recognized as the #1 charitable, non-governmental charitable organization in the world, which is quite an honor. And I don't know if you've had tornadoes or hurricanes in this part of the state, but usually that's what most people associate LCIF with, Lions Club International, because anytime there's a natural disaster anywhere in the world, whether it's a hurricane, a tornado, a tsunami, a flood, or whatever, I'm reasonably sure, I don't have any information on this, but I'm reasonably sure that in California, with all the flooding situations, LCIF has responded to that need. And that's what we do. And that's what we do as Lions. We respond. And usually, when there's a natural disaster, Lions Club's members are the first people on the ground. And I'm sure, and Lion Peggy Chapman back there, she's still eating, but Peggy, Lion Peggy is our district natural disaster person. so she could probably respond to this more than I. But, you know, Lions respond. And I'm so happy to hear that the Jasper Lions Club in association with Good Samaritan is doing this, because a lot of our young people who have, especially those underprivileged, who don't have the resources for eyeglasses, eye examinations, surgeries, and that sort of thing, Lions provide that service. I'm a member of in fact, I'm the District 18L member at large, board member to the Lighthouse Board in Atlanta. And we serve. That's our motto. We serve. And I can tell you that the Jasper Lions Club meets that motto every day. We serve, you know, and where there's a need, there's a line. And with that, President, whatever you want to do.
Maybe it'd be a little easier. I'm gonna let Dr. James give us just a little information about exactly what the funds are gonna be used for in the Fusion Center.
Well, thanks so much for having us and Friday meal. It's hard for me to explain really the need that we have here in the county. When I got hooked onto Good Samaritan, I really had no idea that there was that much of a need in the county. We see, obviously, people who need glasses, but the eye, you may or may not know, is the only place in the body you have naked blood vessels. So systemic diseases like diabetes and high blood pressure will show up as well. So this population that we deal with, folks have all kinds of medical issues, and they're just trying to get some help somewhere. So vision is a big part of that. For instance, some of these patients are trying to go get a job and they can't even see the application. You know? So it's basic stuff like that. We've had patients come in with cataracts, and thanks to the Lions Lighthouse, we've been able to refer them over to get cataract surgery because they can't see to do anything at all. So these folks can't be helping their family or to go out and get any kind of a job and help themselves. So the equipment, the money, is going to help us get an upgrade, which is sorely needed on our equipment that we have, so that we can do more diagnostic and work and take care of these patients and get them to the correct people. For instance, last week I saw a patient there, never had an eye exam. He's in his mid-40s. And his complaint was, I just can't see. This one eye is worse than the other. And he came in, couldn't get him seeing real well. Come to find out, he has uncontrolled glaucoma. And as you may or may not know, glaucoma doesn't have any, there's no real symptoms other than just you have this, you lose this peripheral vision. But by the time you notice it, it's way too late. And this guy's in his mid-40s. Pressures were out through the roof, so we had to get him to the appropriate folks. So the funds are going to help a lot, not only for glasses, that's important, but it's also going to help for patients who need cataracts, glaucoma, macular degeneration. There's a whole list of stuff. And a lot of these folks suffer from medical issues. Diabetes is just epidemic everywhere, and so they in turn have some sort of vision issues that we need to monitor as well. The money's going to go and help a lot with taking care of all the patients we're going to see, and it's greatly appreciated. Thanks.
And maybe Willie and Leslie do our check.